Ooh, you love to see it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you've been doing well. It's been a few days since I recorded the last episode, so yeah, hope you've been doing well. If you're looking forward to today's video, where we are taking on Manchester City in the second match week of the Champions League, then please do go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and also remember, if you are new around here or haven't done so already, to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on. So, in yesterday's episode, we had our first Champions League game off the back of the transfer window. We took on Villarreal. You can see what happened on screen now. Yeah, we bottled that a bit. Fair to say, we had that game well under control for about the first 60 minutes. They got a goal in the 61st. Then they got one in the very last minute of added time. I believe it might have been 1 minute over. To be fair, they probably did actually deserve that result the way they played late on. But when you're 2-0 up with PSG, it feels like a kick in the teeth. So if you didn't check that episode out, I will leave it in the top right corner, a link to that. But yeah, a frustrating start, but albeit it was cancelled out somewhat by the fact that Manchester City also couldn't get the job done against Bayer Leverkusen. So we're not too badly off Champions League wise. In terms of Manchester City, before we crack into some highlights from Ligue 1, you will notice 7th in the Premier League. So these guys are hardly seeing the world on fire either, albeit only after 7 games, but they're a little bit behind the likes of Chelsea. Although you say that, they're actually tied for third. It's all on goal difference, so it's actually quite close at the top of the Premier League. But they haven't set the world on fire, I'd say. So they're kind of much like us, because if you look at how we've been going, feels like we're close to clicking, but we're just not quite there yet. So it's been a little bit of a frustrating start here at PSG. We know that we're capable of a lot better, and we're pretty much favourites for every single competition we enter. So there's a little bit of pressure on us here, but just feels like we're nearly there, because all the stats are saying we should be winning games. We're dominating the games that we do play, but somehow the other teams are keeping us out quite regularly, or are just able to be a lot more efficient with their 1 or 2 shots on target, and they're able to take points off us a little bit more than they should. So it's been a little bit of a frustrating start to our time here at PSG, albeit you look at the overall form, it's not that bad. Obviously with the Marseille game a couple of episodes ago, and then Villarreal yesterday, so we've been dropping points on camera as well, which doesn't help. But since then, 3 Ligue 1 games, 3 games that we really should have been winning, and we've got 7 out of 9 points, which is a little bit frustrating, albeit the time that we did drop points was with a rotated team. So we'll start off with the Saint Etienne game, bit of a dog of a game, but we did come out with a 1-0 win. And the winning goal came in the 57th minute. A long ball forward to Kylian Mbappe, made his way somehow on this right-hand side and somehow got that through the keeper's legs. A brilliant individual effort. Saint Etienne will probably be a bit disappointed about losing that game in that fashion. But you look at the overall stats, 11 shots on target, and that was the one that got in the back of the net. So we should have really been winning that game by more. They only had 2 shots on target. But once again, their goalkeeper having a blinder. That's getting a little bit tiring, but feels like we should be getting more end product, I think it's fair to say, albeit we hopefully have a player coming back soon who will fix that. But we got 3 points there, and that was good. Off the back of that, we took on Nancy, and our 1-1 draw with the rotated team. We got a corner in the 49th minute, or sorry, a corner. It did get headed out, but then Doku put it back in. A good header from Salisu to put us ahead, but then off the back of something, for some reason, our left back was at centre back here, Ruggieri. Pillane beats him to the ball. Just really soft from us, and they got a goal, and that was the game. To be fair, they did show a bit more than Saint Etienne did stats-wise. They had 5 shots on target, and we weren't as good as we were in that game, which is understandable with the team that we put out, but the manner in which they got that goal made that very frustrating to be dropping points, albeit away from home, but against Nancy, a team who got promoted from Ligue 1 last season. Pretty frustrating, yet again. Very good goalkeeper rating. But off the back of that, we did bounce back a bit more after just making some very subtle changes to the tactic, and we picked ourselves up a 2-0 win against Stade Rennais at the Parc des Princes. And it was thanks to a Todibo double. You can see Ramos Mingo hitting the bar there off the first corner very early on, a deflection going to Todibo, and then in the 61st minute he got his head to that one, put it in the back of the net, and that was a 2-0 win. We did also have a penalty that got missed by João Felix in the 14th minute here, so a game that we should have won by more, but stat-wise, a very good performance. They only had 1 shot on target. We had a lot more. including the missed penalty, which is why the XG is up so high. A much better performance, albeit they did get a red card in the 20th minute, so I'm not sure if that's a great game to be basing what we changed ever so slightly tactically on, but it felt like a better performance, so hopefully we can continue that momentum into this game, as we'll show you guys the Stud Rene ratings, and, well, Pinedo gets a high rating. I can understand that one, because he saved a penalty, so that one's not so bad in terms of high goalkeeper ratings of late and Neuer-like performances, but the form is actually a bit better than it feels like it has been. Just as I said, this feels like we're nearly hitting our peak, but not quite there. And when you're in the Champions League group stage, when that's happening, it isn't ideal. But we will have a look at Ligue quickly before we get into today's game. We are 5 points behind Marseille. They have just, much like last season, got off to an absolute flyer. They beat us, then they thumped Monaco as well, so they've got a good break. Unfortunately, that draw against Nancy has meant that we are on 19 points instead of 21, but we're still on the hunt. And as we saw last season, Marseille, they did fall fairly quickly in the second half of the season, so maybe it's going to be history repeating itself. And to be fair to us, I think we're a bit closer to Marseille at PSG this season than Tuchel was with PSG last season at the similar stage. I think they were down about 6th or 7th with maybe about that 14-point mark from memory. I think we're doing a slightly better job, albeit it's still pretty frustrating, but hopefully we can start finding some form both in the Champions League and in Ligue 1 and just find a bit more consistency, I suppose. So we will quickly show you guys the change in tactic. I've only changed one thing, to be fair. For now, I am holding out on Mariba being available for a full game. Unfortunately, not quite yet. We made him available for the second team game for half a game a few days ago, and he hasn't quite got the fitness back up since then, which is a little bit frustrating. Maybe we shouldn't have risked him there, but he is on the bench. He can probably come on for a good half hour towards the end. So I've brought SMS into the box-to-box role because he looks a bit better suited to it attribute-wise. And I have changed the CDM because I've just noticed on the whole that in the save, with the tactic I've been using this one, that the deep-lying playmaker doesn't usually get great ratings. So I'm wondering if just going to a defensive midfielder might suit us more. And from what I saw in the last game, it did help a bit. We've made that change. I'm not sure if we need to change the advanced playmaker back to a Mazzala either, but that's probably something I'll look to do when Mariba does come back in, because Arguri and Mariba can both do the Mazzala or Carolero roles very well. So maybe we need to change the advanced playmaker, because we did really change that at Monaco just because Ricky Puig was very good there and we didn't have many other options. But that's what we've changed. Hopefully we get a few more improved performances, especially at the CDM average rating. That's the lowest outside of the goalkeeper. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe just try and figure out which midfield combo works best for us. And also maybe the attackers. I'm starting to wonder about if inside forwards will work better for these guys, but we'll see what happens, especially with Felix back in the front three today. That could also help him out, as he's been in the midfield where he isn't exactly a natural. So we'll see how we get on, and that is our team we're going to be taking into this game. We'll scroll down so you guys can see the subs. Unfortunately, we have an injury to Mazzal, and Macedo wasn't registered for the competition. So Mbappe is our striker, and if we suffer an injury to him, we're going to have to switch either Augusto or Felix up there and bring one of our mini wingers off the bench to plug that gap. So we still do have options. It's just might be a bit of toing and throwing position-wise should we come across an injury. But hopefully we can get a good result here and just put my mind at ease a little bit. And this would be a good game to get 3 points in, with the group being all square after the first match week. Let's see if we can get the job done at the Parc des Princes against Carlo Ancelotti and Manchester City. So there is our team as we ran through. SMS for Mariba at the moment. Hopefully next episode he will be back to full fitness. I was expecting it today. It didn't quite happen. But we're looking fairly strong on Felix back in his normal position as well, which is good to see. Manchester City, looking at that team, they've still got Edison in goal, and they've got Haaland up front. That's very notable. And they've got the likes of Sterling on the bench, Locatelli. It's a very good team. So we definitely have to show these guys some respect. But hopefully, being the favourites for this competition, we can start living up to that. And as we look at the Manchester City formation, we were able to use a bit of a revenge team talk here, so that's always nice. That seems to help out whenever you can use it. So hopefully that will spur the boys on. But yeah, 3 points here would be very nice. A draw, if you offered it to me now, I probably wouldn't turn it down. But yeah, hopefully we can get the points. Both teams in their regular uniforms that you guys will know. Man City in the light blue and white. We are in the dark blue. They are kicking off, playing right to left. As I said, hopefully with that ever so slight changes to the midfield in terms of roles, we might be able to get a good performance out of the boys here and pick up some good points in the Champions League, albeit Manchester City do have an early corner. And they are about to put this in. Ronaldo puts it into the box, and Gvardiol heads it clear. Now Augusto on the counter here. Can he find Mbappe? He does. Back to Augusto, and we're getting on the counter attack early. Augusto just inside the box, Maric with a good sliding tackle, and he takes it out for a goal kick. Early on, still nil. Throw into Manchester City, 20 minutes gone. Neither team has hit a shot yet. So it's been as dull as a doorknob, for lack of a better term, as we get the ball to Augusto, and hopefully we'll see the first shot of the game here. But at the moment, a very even chess match, I suppose you'd say. Oh, good ball for Mbappe. What has Edison done there? He just rushed out, ended up in absolutely no man's land, and that might be what we need to kick on. So I'm going to take that all day long, especially considering the type of goals that we've been conceding of late, especially in that Nancy game. That was a little bit frustrating. Argueri spoiled the run of Mbappe. Edison's just absolutely at sea. He's in the ocean. He's flopping his arms about. He has no idea where he is there. And we are 1-0 up after 22 minutes. And that is half time. Just the one highlight, and it was the goal. So it's been a very dull game. Feels like we're playing on key highlights. But yeah, we'll definitely take the scoreline at the moment. Man City not getting a shot off, so that's always good. And we were efficient with one of ours, albeit Edison kind of gifted it to us. Some players not having great games. We might look at making a few changes at halftime, although, to be fair, they are quite good players in Bakar and Felix on the fairly average ranks at the moment. So, look, I don't know if we'll change anything as of yet. We'll just get into halftime, tell the boys they're playing well, but they can still improve. And hopefully we can hold this out. Not the most entertaining game, I suppose, but hopefully, look, I'll take 3 points at this stage, and any 3 points are 3 good points, and it would put us at the very least tight at the top of the Champions League group, which would be nice, especially against the team who are more than likely going to be our main opposition to qualify top, as long as we don't bottle the rest of the games in this group. And we do have an early highlight here after Felix got the ball taken from him in the penalty spot or penalty box early in that half, and we play it back to Siu Celescu, who I'm hoping shows a bit more improvement. His overall form hasn't been that great. Maybe he's still a little bit sulky that we didn't let him go to Bayern, but we did give him a new contract, so hopefully that negated that. But it is now Felix with a nice run down the right on the opposite wing to where he usually would be. Puts the ball in, back out to Becker. Aguirre having a good game. SMS with a shot. Oh, what a strike, right. I've been pretty critical of SMS so far because he gave the ball away for the goal in yesterday's episode that was the equaliser for Villarreal, but that is a wonderful strike. Maybe the box-to-box role is his best. I was just a little bit worried about him there thanks to his physical stats these days. 34 years old on the decline, but he was in a good position there. Fires into the bottom left corner, and we are 2-0 up early in the second half. Throw in at the 58-minute mark, and it's down our end, albeit we give the ball straight to them, although we get it straight back. Felix, the Gomez, Medina, and Aguirre knocking it about. Aguirre having a really good start to this game. Augusto out to Becker. Lots of space, but took the shot a bit early, and it does remain 2-0. It feels like this highlight might continue, but I will make some changes. Both Felix and Bakar not having great games. We'll bring Gomez on for Bakar. Give him a rest when we can when he's not playing well, because he is a very important player. One thing I will say, in the next transfer window with the extra money that we did get, which we've seen at the start of the episode, and we are now on Euros, we might need another backup right back because Joe Gomez, he can do a job there, but I'd like someone a bit better at crossing and who's slightly more athletic, be physically, I suppose, what I'm trying to say there, because Gomez is starting to get on. So that's something we could look at in the next transfer window. We'll make that change. We'll also bring on Murillo for Felix. He's been doing a pretty good job there of late when Felix has been in the midfield. We'll make those 2 changes. Oh, and now the highlight ends, so that's good stuff. And it's 2-0 after 60 minutes. 79 minutes gone. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Not many highlights in this game, but we're doing a good job. I will take Gomez off. Juan Gomez, not Joe Gomez, has just come on. And we'll bring Aguirre on for him. Not much difference between those two. Only having an okay game. Although I do see now, maybe I'll change my mind, because I do see Aguirre has just gone to a red heart. So I think we might change our plan. And we'll give Alex Mariba his first taste of action since coming back from his injury in the first team anyway. Very good in that advanced playmaker role. Of a quick look at the stats. As I said, Mazzala might be a good role for him, but he can also do the box-to-box very well. He's just a wonderful midfielder, and he caused us a ton of problems when we were at Monaco, so I'm looking forward to him getting involved. Hopefully he doesn't pull anything else and last out for a bit longer, although Man City, as I was about to say, we're getting into the last 10 minutes, do have a highlight. Pass back to Maric, Florentino, Ronaldo, back to Silva, and if they get in another goal back here, it will start to feel like Villarreal all over again. It's a long highlight too. Raheem Sterling making his way in the box. Tadibo forcing that ball to go back out to Maric, and they do just keep possession. Looked a bit messy. And we'll see what happens here. And we do turn the ball over. Right, this could actually be a chance for us. Morello, fresh on the pitch. What can he do? Fresh legs inside the box. Has a shot. Edison blocks it. They keep the ball in. Somehow it falls to Mbappe. Tell you what, Edison's having a shocker here, and it's about time an opposition goalkeeper gifted us some, because it really feels like they've been on fire against us recently. But Edison just paring that down back to Morello. The ball somehow falls at the feet of Mbappe, and we are now 3-0 up, and we are definitely going to get 3 points. You can see it's an absolute scramble. Florentino's tackle actually put the ball into Mbappe's path. Just a simple tap-in, and we're 3-0 up late into this game. Goal kick to Man City here, but we've got the 3-0 lead with 4 minutes to go. It's looking nice and comfortable, albeit now Musiala somehow got on the end of that. Pretty poor defence, but that finish, open net, somehow he puts it wide. This game has been a little bit more favourable for us, I think it's fair to say. Some of the luck that I've been sort of wondering whether it's going to come our way. It feels like we haven't had that luck the last few games. It definitely looks like it's on our side today, as Man City missing a really good chance there, and we've kind of been gifted 2 goals, it feels like. The SMS goal very well worked from us, but otherwise they've kind of gifted us 2 with some fairly average goalkeeping by Edison. As Man City try and get a late chance here, we are able to turn the ball over, boot it long. They'll have to build again from the back, but they don't have many or much time left. Good ball in there. Somehow that's got to one of the Man City players, Locatelli. Ball falls to Sterling after a Gomez slide tackle straight at Siu Celescu. And it feels like we're going to be holding on for a 3-0 win. Mbappe trying to get his head to that, didn't. But it goes back out to Augusto, and maybe we'll even get a 4th late, although Mbappe would have been offside there. It will go to Edison. We are inching towards the end of referees added on time. Long ball from Edison, and we pick up a 3-0 win. Result-wise, probably our best performance of the season, it's fair to say. Stat-wise, you look at it, it was a fairly even game. Just Edison, I'd like to see his rating. Yeah, not great. That felt like that might have been the difference in that game, as well as that good strike from SMS. But Edison did somewhat gift 2 goals to Mbappe. That first goal where he just went out for a swim and couldn't get out of the pool in time, just in absolute no man's land. And then the second one where the shot from Morello, who did provide some good impact off the bench for us, I will say, did show a bit more than Felix. Had a shot. To be fair, his defender didn't help put a boot in it, went past him and just fell to Mbappe, simple tap-in. And we get a nice 3-0 win, and that certainly makes things a bit better here at PSG, because a draw wouldn't have been a disaster, but if we lost that, we'd be starting to wonder what's going wrong here. But yeah, that's a good result for us. We'll tell the boys we're very pleased with that. Not an overly dominant performance, but when you're taking on a team like Manchester City, can't expect that all the time. And at the very least, we were clinical with our chances, and that's something I haven't been able to say with this team much since we got the job, so that's good to see. And in the other game, Bayer Leverkusen with 2 second-half goals, either side of a Ramiro red card for Villarreal, and they pick up 3 points as well. So it's us and them tied at the top of the Champions League group, and that is going to be the game tomorrow. We'll also have a quick run through of the overall state of the groups after this, but you will see that Monaco have not started off well since we've left them in the Champions League anyway. 2 losses against Barcelona and Man United. So they're looking a little bit in trouble there, but maybe they'll get out of it like we managed to do with them last season in the second half of the group stage. But definitely feeling better after that result than I was leading into the game, I think it is fair to say. And here is the state of the groups after match week 2. You will see some of the results in the top right corner, mainly at the moment from the games that happened the day after ours. We've had to go forward a few days, but Liverpool on top of Group A. But as you will see, Shakhtar beat Bayern Munich. So they're tied in second in Group A, so that one's a little bit open to see who's going to finish behind Liverpool, albeit we're only 2 games in, so a little bit early to be saying that. Milan and Chelsea fairly comfortably at the top of Group B at the moment. Group C, it is Juventus and Arsenal, both on 4 points with Hertha and Zenit behind them, but that group's still fairly close, only the 4 point and then 2 points gap, so not a lot in Group C at the moment. Down to Group D, who also played today in game. Leipzig on top. Marseille were able to pick up a win over Atletico Madrid, who are bottom of their group with Feyenoord tied with Marseille in second. And so a little bit of a surprise there, albeit Atletico Madrid a little bit average in our group last year as well, I think it's fair to say. We'll go back a day for the results. After that, Man United and Barcelona, as we saw, doing it pretty easy in Group E at the moment. Then we've got our group, us and Bayer Leverkusen, tied on 4 points with Villarreal and Man City on 1 apiece. Then down to Group G, it's Roma on top, but not much in this, with Porto 1 point behind, then another point behind the PSV and another point behind to Olympiacos. That win for Roma over Porto proving quite important to that group at the moment. And then down to Group H, where it is Ajax with 2 wins from 2, and then it's Inter with a win, and Partizan and Celtic sharing a point each. So we're in a decent position without looking overly great, but if we can pick up points in our next 2 games, which I believe are both against Bayer Leverkusen, that will put us in a very nice position to be getting out of that group with Villarreal off the back of that. And our final Champions League group stage game is against Manchester City, so hopefully with that game being away, we can secure our qualification by then, so that game doesn't have as much riding on it, and we can maybe focus on Ligue 1 a little bit more, especially as we get ready to face Monaco in the last game of the first half of the season. But that will do for today's episode. Back on track, it feels like. Better performance from what we saw in the highlights. Stat-wise, I'm still not sure, but we got the result, and that's what matters. Tomorrow, we'll be back in the Champions League off the back of a game coming up very shortly against Lille. And then we've got international break. We've got Lens off the back of that. They will be the games we show you guys the highlights of. And then we've got Bayer Leverkusen off the back of that. Yeah, and as you can see, that is going to be 2 games in a row for Bayer Leverkusen is what's going to be coming up. And then Villarreal and Man City, as we said. And then off the back of that, we'll probably get to Monaco and Ligue 1 and show you guys a bit of that before we get into the transfer window. So that's what's coming up over the next 5 episodes. But if you did enjoy today's episode where we beat Manchester City, and I think most people enjoy watching Manchester City lose, then please do go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video if you are new here and did enjoy the content. And also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on. And until tomorrow's episode against Bayer Leverkusen away at the Bay Arena, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I will see you then. Cheers.